once asked me what evil was. There are things that you're better off not understanding.
I promised to do everything I could to protect you.
Protect me? From what?
In every child's nightmare, there's an element of truth.
Powers of this world are very strong.
They are stealing children. This is war.
Who is willing to fight for true freedom?
Now is the time to choose a side.
Answers to some of the more commonly asked questions about his Dark Materials. Is this a remake or sequel to the Golden Compass movie? No, his Dark Materials is a book trilogy written 2 decades ago by Philip Pullman. The books are an adaptation of John Milton's epic 17th century poem called Paradise Lost. The Golden Compass movie was a very loose adaptation of the first book in Pullman's trilogy, but they changed a lot of the story and took away a lot of the darker elements to try to make it more child-friendly. What are the books about? Here's a very brief overview. The first book takes place in a world not unlike our own, but also different in many ways. Here we follow Lyra, a liar and a schemer, on a journey to the frozen north where witch clans rule, and great bears forge the fabric of their souls into armor which they wear to battle, to the place where the gobblers take the children that they steal and conduct horrific experiments on them, to the place where Lyra's uncle, Lord Asriel, is trying to open a bridge that will lead through the northern lights into another world. The second book begins in our own world, where Lyra befriends a murderer, Will Parry, who accompanies her on a terrifying journey through many worlds. Together, they discover a deadly weapon with extraordinary and devastating powers, a weapon so powerful it can cut into the very fabric of the realities between the worlds. The third book takes place in many universes and takes us on a journey into strange new lands. The great powers are preparing for the greatest battle ever fought, a conflict with heaven itself, as Will and Lyra continue their harrowing and epic journey which leads them through the very gates of death itself. Is it for kids? Pullman's story is technically aimed at kids and young adults, but like Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, the books can be enjoyed immensely by both children and adults alike for different reasons. You understand a lot of the darker and more intricate elements as an adult, whereas as a kid you're busy enjoying the magic and the adventure of it all. It'll be interesting to see if the TV series can also be as enjoyable for both audiences, or if it will be catered much more towards a specific demographic. Will a TV series of his Dark Materials be any good? While the first trailer does look good, this is a series that needs to be adapted right to be truly good. The BBC must not shy away from the religious aspects of the tale, because those aspects are part of the fabric that binds it together, especially when one takes into account the story the books are adapted from. Paradise Lost is a 17th century epic poem that consists of over 10,000 lines of verse and details Satan's fascinating journey as he attempts to wage war on heaven and cast God from the throne. It's a biblical story of the fall of man, which comes about as a result of Satan's subtle manipulations and formidable will. While religious fundamentalists almost unanimously hate Pullman's adaptation, for example, God is weak and broken in Pullman's books, the former Archbishop of Canterbury endorsed his Dark Materials, saying the books are about the death of a false god and the withholding of true Christian values, so clearly not all religious folks hate them. The books are also very dark and strange, and only get weirder as the story progresses. The show needs to be able to uphold this strangeness, to be able to be considered an adequate adaptation of the books. Horror, betrayal, fear, murder, and manipulation are a part of the fabric that bind the story together, along with magic and adventure and strange and wonderful creatures. The show needs to be able to convey all this without trying to sanitize the story to make it more friendly towards children and religion, which is where the movie The Golden Compass failed. So, will the series be any good? We'll just have to wait and see, because when big production studios bite off more than they can chew while making too many changes to the source material, these kinds of adaptations can have a tendency to crash and burn. So we'll just have to cross our fingers and hope for the best, really. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment if you liked this video or have any questions, or if you would just like to share an observation. This is the first video I've made, so I'd appreciate your thoughts on it, or even just a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Aroha nui, kia kaha, and have a lovely day.